Sophie Cunningham, a WNBA star's journey. In today's video, we'll take you inside the remarkable story of Sophie Cunningham, an American pro basketball player and sharpshooting guard, now lighting it up for the Indiana Fever in the WNBA. From her humble beginnings on a Missouri farm to her legendary college run at the University of Missouri, her rise with the Phoenix Mercury, and her fresh start in Indiana, we're covering it all. You'll also get a glimpse into her close-knit family, deep-rooted faith, and personal life beyond the hardwood. If you love sports bios, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories. Sophie Elizabeth Cunningham was born on August 16, 1996, in Columbia, Missouri. She was raised in a close, rural family community. Life on the farm gave Sophie a relentless work ethic right from the jump. Family stories recall Sophie and her sister Lindsay tackling chores, riding horses bareback, and spending countless hours outdoors. That upbringing crafted Sophie's balance, grit, and toughness, qualities that would become trademarks of her game. Sophie's parents, Jim and Paula Cunningham, were major influences on her journey. Paula was a standout multi-sport athlete, excelling in softball, basketball, and track before competing in track at Missouri. Jim, meanwhile, played college football. Their passion for sports and competitive drive were passed directly to their daughters. Sophie's older sister, Lindsay Cunningham, also shined as a basketball player. Both sisters starred at the University of Missouri and had always dreamed of playing side by side. Lindsay committed to Mizzou in 2017, and Sophie followed soon after, turning that dream into a reality. The sisters shared a powerful bond, symbolized by matching three-wave tattoos that represent faith, family, and unity, which shaped Sophie's life deeply. Growing up surrounded by athletic role models, Sophie was inspired daily. Lindsay often mentored Sophie like a coach, helping shape her skills and confidence. Their extended family, including their grandparents, Mama and Pawpaw, and a great-grandmother, were ever-present supporters, attending every Mizzou game. Sophie frequently credits her parents' wisdom and Lindsay's support as major drivers behind her discipline and love for basketball. Sophie spent her childhood in Columbia, Missouri, where she attended Rockbridge High School. It was here, at this public school just outside Columbia, that she exploded onto the scene as a basketball phenomenon. After graduating in 2015, she stayed close to home and committed to the University of Missouri in Columbia. From 2015 to 2019, she played for the Missouri Tigers women's basketball team. Sophie also focused on her education, starting with an undeclared major while etching her name in school record books. Her college legacy became one of the greatest in Mizzou history, as we'll dive into next. Staying true to her roots, Sophie remained deeply tied to Missouri throughout her academic and athletic career. She often said Missouri felt like home, and her family's legacy made Columbia the obvious choice. Sophie turned down offers from powerhouse programs across the country to represent her home state. At Rockbridge High School, she was a force of nature. Playing guard, she became the all-time leading scorer for the girls' basketball team with a total of 1,983 points. Her teams dominated the court, posting a staggering 102-18 record during her high school run. In her senior year, 2014 to 2015, Sophie's dominance on the court earned her the highest accolades. She was named the 2014 Gatorade Missouri Girls Basketball Player of the Year and selected as a McDonald's All-American, an honor reserved for the nation's best high school athletes. These distinctions cemented her status as Missouri's top prep player. Known for her scoring ability, rebounding strength, and fierce competitive edge, Sophie regularly delivered standout performances, leading Rockbridge to key victories. A memorable story from that year: when the football team's kicker got injured in 2014, Sophie stepped in to kick extra points, putting her team-first mentality on full display. By the time she graduated, she was more than just a star. She was a proven leader, a winner, and a name known far beyond Missouri. Her brilliance sparked a national recruitment frenzy and opened doors to the college basketball elite. That brilliance carried straight into college, where Sophie continued her scoring streak at the University of Missouri and became one of the program's all-time greats. From her freshman debut to her final senior game, she started all 129 contests, never missing a beat. In her first year, 2015 to 2016, she averaged 14.0 points and 5.8 rebounds per game, earning her the title of SEC Freshman of the Year. Each year that followed, she was honored on the All-SEC team, highlighted by 3 consecutive first-team All-SEC selections from 2016 to 2019, a feat few have matched. On a national level, Sophie rose to elite status. In her senior season, 2018 to 2019, she became the first Missouri player ever named an AP All-American, landing on the AP third team. That same year, she received honorable mention All-America honors from the WBCA. Her final college stats were impressive: 17.0 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 3.0 assists per game. She regularly ranked among SEC leaders, and in her junior year, she shot a staggering 54.2% from the field, tops in the nation, and led the SEC in three-point shooting at 45.7%. But Sophie's greatest legacy at Mizzou may be in the record books. She finished her career as Missouri's all-time leader in points and free throws made. She also ranked second in three-pointers made and fourth in assists, showcasing her all-around impact. Under her leadership, Mizzou made 4 straight NCAA tournament appearances, something the program had never achieved before. Along the way, she added more honors, multiple SEC Player of the Week awards, and finalist recognition for prestigious national awards like the Cheryl Miller Award. Among her major college accomplishments, Missouri's all-time leading scorer with 2,187 points, record holder for free throws made, 2016 SEC Freshman of the Year, the first in school history, 3-time first-team All-SEC 2019, AP third-team All-American, the first Missouri player to earn that distinction, 2019 USBWA, third-team All-American, 2019 WBCA Honorable Mention, and a key figure in 4 consecutive NCAA tournament bids. Her dazzling college career made her a top pick for the 2019 WNBA draft. Scouts raved about her scoring versatility, leadership pedigree, and competitive fire. Sophie left Mizzou as more than a record setter. She was a local legend and a torchbearer for the next generation of Tigers. Sophie Cunningham's pro journey began when the Phoenix Mercury selected her with the 13th overall pick in the 2019 WNBA draft. At the time, she was the highest draft pick in the history of Mizzou's women's basketball program. Sophie made the Mercury's opening day roster and saw limited minutes in her rookie year, appearing in 32 games with 5 starts and averaging 3.1 points per game. Still, she made an early impression by leading all rookies with an 88.2% free throw percentage and dropping a then career-high 19 points in a June 2019 game against Indiana. Over the next few seasons, Sophie's role steadily grew. Her playing time increased, and so did her impact on both ends of the court. By 2022, she had secured a starting spot. That season, she posted career highs in multiple categories, averaging 12.6 points, 4.4 rebounds per game, while shooting 44.9% from the field and 38.3% from deep. She established herself as one of Phoenix's premier shooters and a go-to scoring option. The following year, in 2023, she started 31 games and remained a reliable contributor, averaging 11.3 points per contest. During WNBA off-seasons, Sophie took her talents overseas. In 2019 to 2020, she joined the Melbourne Boomers of Australia's WNBL, where she averaged 11.6 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 2.3 assists. Playing abroad allowed her to hone her skills year-round and return to the WNBA in top form. After 6 seasons with the Mercury, her career entered a new phase. In January 2025, she was part of a blockbuster 4-team trade that landed her with the Indiana Fever. The team confirmed the news in a statement. The Indiana Fever have acquired guard Sophie Cunningham from the Phoenix Mercury as part of a 4-team trade. Fever GM Amber Cox added, "Cunningham was a player we have targeted for a while, one of the best shooters in our league." In Indiana, Sophie looks to lead, mentor, and contribute to a rising young squad. Beyond her playing career, Sophie has also begun building a presence in sports media. In December 2022, while still active in the WNBA, she accepted a position as an analyst for the Phoenix Suns NBA broadcasts. She now appears regularly on Suns Live, covering pregame, halftime, and postgame segments. This new venture highlights her charisma, deep understanding of the game, and a potential post-WNBA path in broadcasting. It also keeps her closely connected to the basketball world, even when not playing. Sophie Cunningham's impact on women's basketball is undeniable, particularly in Missouri. She helped revive Mizzou's program, put the school back on the national map, and set records that may stand for years. In Columbia and across the state, she's become a hometown icon and role model for aspiring athletes. Coaches and teammates consistently highlight her leadership and relentless drive. During her college years, she was the heart and soul of the team. In the WNBA, she's known for her toughness, competitive edge, and elite three-point shooting. As Indiana's GM said, she is a fierce competitor, works incredibly hard on both ends of the floor, and is one of the best shooters in our league. Her long-range accuracy and energy can either ignite a bench unit or elevate a lineup of stars. Off the court, Sophie's personality continues to win fans over. She's known for her confidence, bold fashion, and authentic social media presence, which have helped her grow a loyal following as the WNBA's visibility expands. Through interviews and community events, she shares her core values of faith, family, and hard work, messages that resonate with fans and young athletes alike. From Missouri trailblazer to veteran leader, Sophie's story is one of perseverance, passion, and staying true to yourself. In her personal life, Sophie Cunningham is just as dynamic. She's outgoing, energetic, and grounded by her rural roots. Her favorite hobbies include singing, swimming, fishing, and riding horses on the family farm. She earned a black belt in Taekwondo by age 6, a testament to her early focus and drive. Family remains central to her life, and she often says that being in nature and spending time with loved ones keeps her centered. Sophie has also become known for her bold, fashion-forward flair. She frequently posts her pregame fits and behind-the-scenes moments on social media, showcasing a confident, playful style. In 2024, one outfit in particular went viral, a Love Island-inspired cutout dress that showed off her tan lines as she arrived at a game. The look sparked a flurry of online chatter. When asked about it later, Sophie laughed and revealed, "Actually, my mom picked that outfit out," handling the buzz with humor and charm. The moment captured her outgoing personality and her comfort in being unapologetically herself in the spotlight. With over 250,000 followers, Sophie blends basketball content with candid snapshots, personal reflections, and humor, making her social media presence both authentic and engaging. She's often described as blue-collar at heart, someone who takes pride in hard work and stays grounded on and off the court. Teammates and coaches consistently praise her as approachable, driven, and full of contagious energy that lights up any locker room. Faith is another cornerstone of Sophie Cunningham's life. A devoted Christian, she speaks openly about how her relationship with God shapes her mindset and career. Before every game, she follows a meaningful ritual, drawing a cross on her shoes, then her knees, heart, and forehead, a quiet but powerful act to focus her intentions and remind herself who she plays for. In interviews, she's explained that this routine helps calm her nerves and anchor her spirit. Her social media often features Bible verses and faith-driven messages. At one point, she pinned a quote from Romans 8:28. God promises to work all things to good for those who love him. She's also shared that when she was drafted, she felt completely at peace, saying, "I knew that this is where God wanted me to be." Sophie and her sister Lindsay even share matching wrist tattoos of a three-wave design, rooted in scripture and symbolizing the bond between faith and family. For Sophie, faith isn't a side note, it's central. It influences how she plays, how she leads, and how she navigates the public eye, making her an inspiration not just in sports, but in character. When it comes to her dating life, Sophie has kept things private and refreshingly candid. Publicly, she's made it clear that her primary focus has been her career, her spiritual life, and personal development. On social media, she has joked about being single and not in any rush to find a boyfriend, embracing her independence with a lighthearted attitude. No confirmed relationships or romantic ties have been made public, and Sophie seems to be content directing her energy toward basketball, faith, and family. Her approach to privacy and self-prioritization has resonated with fans who admire her for staying true to her values. Sophie's lifestyle reflects her roots and her profession. Off the court, she keeps active and grounded. She spends lots of time outside, often with family, enjoying the simple pleasures of her Missouri upbringing. Whether she's horseback riding, fishing, or just soaking in nature, Sophie stays connected to the lifestyle that shaped her. She also maintains a rigorous year-round training and conditioning routine to stay at peak performance. Though she keeps the specifics under wraps, it's clear she's dedicated to the discipline required of a top-level athlete. Fashion is a standout element of Sophie Cunningham's lifestyle. She regularly grabs headlines with her daring, eye-catching looks. Fox News even spotlighted her pregame style, highlighting how she confidently rocked unique dresses and didn't flinch at criticism, joking that her mom had signed off on her now viral outfit. Sophie has built a personal brand rooted in boldness, confidence, and individuality. On social media, she often strikes poses and outfits that blend athletic performance with high-end flair. She's also carved out space in the brand world, aligning with companies that reflect her lifestyle. Among her partnerships, she's teamed up with Quest Nutrition and is a sponsored Adidas athlete, often spotted in Adidas gear during games. These endorsements reinforce her image as energetic, health-conscious, and authentic. Sophie has successfully fused her Missouri roots, family values, hard work, and love for the outdoors with the contemporary role of an athlete influencer navigating style, performance, and public life. As of 2025, Sophie Cunningham has built a solid financial foundation. Her estimated net worth sits around $1.5 million, thanks to a combination of WNBA earnings and endorsement deals. Her core income comes from basketball. She signed a one-year extension with Phoenix in early 2025, worth $100,000, while her 2024 salary was about $120,000. But she doesn't rely on just her WNBA paycheck. Sophie supplements her income through brand partnerships and media roles. As an Adidas athlete and a spokesperson for products like Quest bars and skincare lines, she pulls in endorsement earnings that stack up over time. She's also received compensation for her work as a broadcast analyst. While specific figures remain private, experts estimate her total income, including basketball, endorsements, and media work, falls into the low to mid seven-figure range, with her current net worth of $1.5 million reflecting that growth. In terms of where she lives, Sophie's career path has shaped her journey across cities. Born and raised in Columbia, Missouri, she stayed local for high school and college, building her legacy in her hometown. Once drafted into the WNBA, she split her time between Phoenix, Arizona, where the Mercury play, and Columbia, returning home in the off-season. Now, in 2025, with her trade to the Indiana Fever, she's made Indianapolis or its surrounding area her new home base. There's no indication she owns vacation properties or real estate investments elsewhere. Like many young pros, she likely rents as needed in each city. Still, she speaks with great pride about her Missouri roots and considers Columbia home. Her sense of place is anchored in family and community, even as her professional life has taken her across the country. And that's a wrap on Sophie Cunningham's inspiring journey. If you enjoyed learning about her life, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more compelling stories.
Final. Cup championship bound, baby! Woo! Big Cup, baby! Woo! The year, man. It got a little crazy out there, but we made it through.
We're gonna keep stacking the day, so see you in the championship.
Bow! Let's go!
June 17th wasn't just another game, it was sweet revenge. Think back to May 30th, when J.C. Sheldon and the Connecticut Sun left Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson hurt on the court, and those cheap shots went ignored. Well, the Indiana Fever didn't forget a thing. And when Sheldon jabbed Caitlin Clark right in the eye during the rematch, it lit a fire. What followed proves exactly why you don't come for Clark's crew. Because Sophie Cunningham was locked in and ready to unleash the most glorious flagrant foul you'll ever witness.
It was chippy the last time these two teams faced off too. Sophie Cunningham suffered her ankle injury in that game, but in addition to that, she actually had part of her front tooth knocked out. She made contact with J.C. Sheldon as Caitlin Clark knocks down the triple.
But what people don't talk about enough is how hard you have to work to be able to be that good. All the hours that she's spent perfecting her craft.
Retreating, firing and hitting!
So she can do that!
On Indiana arguing the call.
I mean, step back, you're late. She almost looks you in the eye.
Picture this, May 30th, Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun, and everything unraveled for the Fever in the worst way imaginable. The game began like any other, two WNBA teams battling for position. But the Sun brought a level of physicality that pushed past fierce and into outright reckless. From the opening tip, you could feel the tension crackling through the air.
Can we talk about the physicality for a second? Two players on the Indiana Fever got injured last night by the same player on the Connecticut Sun, and that was J.C. Sheldon. And I tweeted about it. She was playing so reckless. I'm fine with players playing aggressive, but there is a thin line between playing aggressive and playing reckless. When you dive for a ball, you don't land on somebody's leg. She landed on top of Sydney Colson's leg, and her leg got stuck and literally twisted around. Both injuries, both Sydney Colson and Sophie Cunningham, were contact injuries.
Sophie Cunningham went down first after what looked like a deliberate hit. The contact was brutal, way too much for a routine basketball play. Then Sydney Colson took a shot in another shady sequence that left everyone wondering what was really going on out there. The kicker? J.C. Sheldon was at the center of both plays, bringing an aggressive edge that made your blood absolutely boil.
They weren't non-contact. They weren't ACLs. They weren't Achilles. They were contact injuries caused by the same player. And this kind of physicality that the WNBA they brag about. They say it's always been a physical league. That's just the heart of the It's not good basketball. And we've seen so many injuries. Paige Becker's out with a concussion. Rakia Jackson was out with a concussion. All of these injuries are contact plays. We've seen Caitlin Clark last year get chucked to the ground. We saw Angel Reese get clothesline chucked to the ground. The players continue to do it because the refs are allowing them. Why wouldn't you keep doing it if you're a physical player?
Here's where the college history heats things up. Sheldon and Clark had been clashing since their Iowa versus Ohio State battles. Back then, Sheldon made it her goal to rattle Clark every time they shared the court. She shadowed her non-stop, threw bumps on every screen, and never missed a chance to talk trash during dead balls. This wasn't just a game anymore. This was personal.
Her mortal enemy took out a player. J.C. Sheldon. Caitlin Clark's mortal enemy, J.C. Sheldon.
The refs that May Day let it all slide, like they were watching a different game than the rest of us. Hard fouls, no whistle, dangerous plays, ignored. Clark had to stand by as her teammates went down while Sheldon skated by without even a warning. With every possession, the frustration grew. The Fever battled to the end, but fell 85-83. More than just a loss, they were down 2 key players, injuries that could have been avoided if the officials had done their job. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were out, and their absence hit hard in the games that followed.
This is a reckless play. This is reckless. It is dangerous. And this angle makes it look even worse. It is dangerous. Like, Sid Colson is between her and the ball. Sid Colson is, in fact, between JC Sheldon and the ball, and she dives through her knee. It wasn't even called as a foul.
You could see it in Clark's eyes after that loss. The way she stared down Sheldon in the handshake line. The edge in her voice during the post-game interview. This wasn't finished. Not even close. The Fever would remember every detail. Who threw the hits, who got hurt, and how the refs just let it all slide. June 17th couldn't come fast enough. And when it did, Clark was back from her quad injury, fresh off a dominant win over the undefeated New York Liberty, and locked in to face the Connecticut Sun again. It was just her second game back after 3 weeks off, but you could tell she hadn't forgotten a thing. The way she stepped onto the court, the way she stared down the sun during warm-ups. This wasn't just another game, not for her.
She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark, splashing home a 3 from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
JC Sheldon is there on it. With her hand in her face.
The game tips off with that same thick tension hanging in the air. Sheldon's on Clark from the jump, guarding her like everything's on the line, way too close for comfort. She's glued to Clark on every possession, throwing bumps on screens, doing all the little things that turn basketball into a brawl. It's the same reckless intensity that sidelined Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson back in May. And everyone in the arena can feel it. Something's coming.
And Caitlin Clark are talking to the official. They're both going at it saying, hey, oh, there's a little extra right there. Uh-oh. And Marina steps in to protect JC.
Third quarter hits, and here comes the moment that flips everything. Clark is bringing the ball up court when Sheldon steps in to defend. She reaches in for what looks like a steal, but her finger goes straight into Clark's eye. The contact is instant and impossible to miss. Clark's head jerks back from the impact. You can see it clear as day.
Third quarter we go. They're trailing by 10. Keep an eye on her and JC Sheldon. Clark trying to back her down.
Here is if Clark is okay.
Sheldon, that was Clark, hitting her in the face. Clark is upset about that. Then everybody's upset about that. Marina Mabry comes in. She decks Clark, tempers flaring on both sides.
Clark instantly grabs her face, pain and fury flashing across her expression as she realizes what just happened. She's squinting, trying to blink it out, but you can tell this is more than just physical. She knows exactly who did it. The same player who took out her teammates is now coming for her, using the same dirty tactics that slipped by the refs last time. So Clark does what any true competitor would. She pushes back, literally shoving Sheldon away after taking a finger to the eye. It's instinct, pure and simple. Anyone would do the same. The crowd explodes because they all saw it. But unbelievably, the refs are about to make things even worse.
Hey,
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabry's going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabry is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabry. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. She's always in the mix. There's a lot of contact here. There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like.
Clark standing there, clutching her eye, clearly the victim of a dangerous play. Yet the officials reach for their whistles. The arena erupts in confusion and outrage. Fans are pointing to the replay boards, where the eye poke is plain as day, but the refs aren't budging. Instead, they hit Clark with a technical foul for pushing back after getting jabbed in the eye. A technical foul for defending herself. The call makes zero sense to anyone watching. Clark had just dropped 32 points in her first game back from injury, and now she's being punished for reacting to the same player who took out her teammates. The message this sends? That targeting Clark comes without consequence, and if she stands up for herself, she's the one who'll pay the price. But that eye poke? That was just the spark. Because Marina Mabry saw it all go down, and she was about to raise the temperature to a whole new level.
Take another look as we try to figure out what exactly went down. So you see her get hit in the face. JC Sheldon doesn't like that, and everybody on the team doesn't like it. Marina, trying to have her teammates back, pushes her down. You see a little bit of drama all the way around. Tina, Charles, Clark, and Mabry, they received technical fouls. Sheldon received a flagrant 1 foul.
Right after Clark gets slapped with that bogus technical foul, Marina Mabry decides she's done watching and takes matters into her own hands, in the worst way imaginable. Clark is still trying to shake off the eye injury when Mabry storms over and does something that leaves everyone in the arena absolutely stunned.
That's what Clark didn't like. Then Mabry came in with a bump.
And Mabry's day is almost assuredly going to be done. But both teams.
This wasn't basketball contact. This was straight up assault. Mabry body checked Clark like it was a hockey game, not the WNBA, sending her crashing backward to the court. The hit was blatant and completely uncalled for, so obvious that even the most casual fans could see it for what it was. Clark hit the floor hard, stunned, and you could see it in her face. The shock of realizing that yet another Connecticut Sun player had just taken a cheap shot at her.
And then Marina Mabry comes out of nowhere and chucks her to the floor. Now let's watch this in slow motion. Here, JC Sheldon is guarding Caitlin, swipes her in the face. There's one. Going for the ball, swipes her in the eyeball. Caitlin's gonna have to start wearing goggles. And then Caitlin pushes her off of her, like, why are you still in my face? Marina Mabry, bat out of hell, chucks Caitlin Clark to the ground.
The entire Fever bench leaps to their feet because they've just watched their star player get assaulted right in front of the referees. Players are pointing at Mabry, yelling at the officials, pleading for someone in stripes to finally step in and do their job. The crowd is losing it, roaring with disbelief as this unfolds right on their home court. Coach Stephanie White is on the sideline, completely unhinged, screaming at the refs who are somehow still missing what's happening right in front of them. She's waving her arms, pointing straight at Mabry, desperate to make them understand that this has gone way past normal basketball contact. White knows exactly what's happening. Clark just got targeted again, and the officials are about to blow it. Again.
Now after this, you guys, of course, the referees are going to review the play because that's a lot of contact going on right there. That's a lot of unnecessary contact. That's a lot of non-basketball contact happening during this play, right? So the 3 referees that I like to say, they got them straight out of Sephora because I don't think these referees have ever refereed a professional basketball game in their life. They took these referees, they were at the monitor, they looked at it for, I'm not even exaggerating, you guys, like 15 minutes. 15 minutes they are watching this play over and over.
The refs hand Mabry just a common technical foul, the exact same penalty they gave Clark for simply defending herself after getting poked in the eye. Let that sink in. Clark gets jabbed in the eye and pushes back. Technical foul. Mabry straight up body checks Clark to the floor in retaliation. also a technical foul. The math doesn't add up, and everyone in the arena knows it.
The announcers here are saying, of course, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected because that was unwarranted. She literally came out of nowhere and chucked Caitlin Clark. There should be a flagrant one, of course, on JC Sheldon because she swiped her and hit her in the eyeball. Whether it is intentional or not, you can still have a flagrant a flagrant foul called on you, whether you are trying to intentionally hurt somebody or not. But this is what they called, you guys. This is what they called. Caitlin Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlin, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
White goes off in the post-game press conference. When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long, this is what happens. She's had it. She's done watching her players get targeted while the refs just stand there and let it slide.
When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game. It's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter. And we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
The message couldn't be clearer now. The officials weren't going to protect Clark, so her teammates would. Sophie Cunningham had been watching it all unfold from the bench, and she was about to send a message no one would forget. Nobody messes with her teammate. Final minute of the game. Fever's cruising with an 87-70 lead, and JC Sheldon gets the ball one last time. The clock is winding down, but Cunningham isn't thinking about the score anymore. She's thinking about May 30th, when she went down hurt. She's thinking about Clark getting eye-poked with no real punishment. She's thinking about Mabrey body-checking her teammate to the floor.
So now let's talk about Sophie Cunningham. At the end of the game, JC Sheldon is going for a fast break layup and Sophie Cunningham is running with her. And I remember in my head, like it happened in a split second and I said, oh, let's see. Let's see what happens here.
Cunningham remembers everything from that brutal May game. Her own injury, sitting on the bench in pain while Sheldon strutted around untouched. She remembers the refs turning a blind eye as her teammates took hit after hit. And now, here's Sheldon, driving to the basket. Cunningham sees her shot, and she's not about to let it pass.
Sophie commits a hard foul on JC Sheldon. Again, as JC Sheldon is going up for a layup, Sophie bear hugs her and takes her to the ground. What I will say is Sophie did not grab her and throw her to the ground. She didn't body slam her. She didn't do anything, in my personal opinion. Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm going to give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional.
She lines up Sheldon and delivers the most satisfying, flagrant foul you'll ever witness. Cunningham grabs her hard, wraps her up, and drags her to the floor. This wasn't a basketball play. This was payback. This was justice. This was Sophie Cunningham making it crystal clear. You don't mess with her teammates. The officials hit Cunningham with a flagrant 2, and she's automatically ejected. Sheldon and Lindsay Allen get tossed too for jumping into the fight. 3 players ejected, but the message was delivered. Justice finally hit the court.
It was, to me, payback for what was happening the entire game. But she did it in a way that she wasn't going to injure JC. She was just making it known, like, if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it. We'll take care of it, but this is not what you're going to do when you come into our house. It was an intentional foul. It was a hard foul. She brought her down. But with that, you guys, JC Sheldon got up and she was ready to go. So as you guys can see in this video, a whole scuffle breaks out. Sophie and JC are going going after it. Both teams are running over, trying to break it up. It kind of goes into the fan section a little bit.
Clark finishes with 20 points and 6 assists, leading the Fever to an 88-71 win that felt like way more than just a victory. Natasha Howard notches her 50th career double-double with 16 points and 12 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell chips in 17 points. It was a full team effort, but everyone knows what truly mattered.
A rare miss at the rim for Aaliyah Boston, the league's top field goal percentage shooter in the WNBA, but it's Boston who comes up with the steal and the find to Howard. Clark working on the rookie. Clark on the drive. Hang, shot too strong. There's Howard to clean up.
And Clark working off the ball, comes off the stagger.
Third year in her WNBA in terms of setting up her teammates. Clark behind the back, feed inside. 2 more for Howard.
This wasn't just about beating the Sun. This was the Fever showing they won't be bullied, they won't back down, and they always protect their own. The win sends them to their first ever Commissioner's Cup final, but more importantly, it sends a message to the entire league. If you come after their players, you'd better be ready for the consequences.
The Indiana Fever fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie." Sophie's jersey is going to sell out tonight. She's going to be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that.
The Fever got their revenge after that brutal May 30th loss. Clark got her justice after the eye poke and the body check. Sophie Cunningham became a hero for stepping up when it mattered most. Sometimes, the officials won't protect you, but your teammates will. That's exactly what happened on June 17th, when the Indiana Fever showed the basketball world they're not backing down from anyone.
Oh, Clark just took it away. It's a 2-on-1. Clark, bounce pass, pretty fine, and Mitchell won't miss from there.
This game proved the Indiana Fever aren't just talented. They're a family that fights for each other when it matters most. When the officials won't protect their players, teammates like Sophie Cunningham step up and handle it themselves. That's what real loyalty looks like in professional sports. Now, the Commissioner's Cup final awaits on July 1st against the Minnesota Lynx. And after watching how this team rises through adversity and stands united, 2025 is already looking brighter for Fever fans. Remember this moment the next time someone says loyalty doesn't exist in pro sports, because Sophie Cunningham just proved them wrong. If you ride with the Fever, drop a comment below, like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment.
The Indiana Fever are in a disastrous situation right now. They're in an absolutely disastrous situation.
Just moments ago, Sophie Cunningham finally spoke out, and what she revealed about the Indiana Fever locker room should send shockwaves through every Caitlin Clark fan out there.
Sophie Cunningham goes in the post-game press conference and confirms what we've all known all along.
We've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own islands.
This locker room is split, and she uses the term different islands going on in this locker room.
Sophie literally says there's a little thing going on in the locker room.
That's not good. That's not good to hear.
We're talking broken trust, no backup for their star, and a team unraveling from within. Caitlin's fights clearly go far beyond the court. She's out there waging war completely on her own.
There's one really concerning thing that Sophie Cunningham said.
I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own island.
It's been a disaster. The good teams can keep the locker room together.
If you're still backing Caitlin Clark and believe she deserves way better than this disaster, drop a comment below. Stand up for Caitlin Clark, because after Sophie's brutally honest words, it's clear this team's falling apart, and no one's lifting a finger to protect their once-in-a-generation star.
Caitlin Clark is the star player of the WNBA.
The most popular woman ever in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark is the needle. Caitlin is box office.
Caitlin Clark as the star. Everything else is wrapped around her, and everything else is revolving around her.
She's Rookie of the Year in the WNBA.
For weeks, fans felt something was wrong with this Fever squad, and now Sophie has torn the bandage clean off. She confirmed what everyone had been whispering. The locker room is fractured, unraveling just when Caitlin needs unity more than ever. In her post-game press conference, Sophie didn't hold back.
Sophie Cunningham, in the post-game interview, speaks on this team and the islands.
We have our own island. That line hit like a live grenade.
I think that we've kind of wavered a little bit on that. We have our own island.
This wasn't just about missed plays or botched assignments. It was a locker room filled with disconnection, zero unity, and a blinding absence of leadership.
Everybody's on their own little island.
For a team built around a once-in-a-generation talent like Caitlin Clark, that's a blaring neon red warning sign for every fan who's watching closely.
Take care of our locker room.
Whew! You did a job at that.
Sophie admitted the squad is unstable and failing to support each other when it counts. Translation: Caitlin's not just eating hits from defenders, she's being left to fend for herself with no help from her own teammates when the blows keep coming.
Caitlin Clark, plasters over all the cracks. She realistically plasters over all the cracks of this team. This team is not structured well.
The very squad that's supposed to rally around her can't even hold it together. Last season, they had each other's backs. Win or lose, there was a sense of unity. But now, Sophie bluntly admits, everything's changed.
Even when they were losing games, it seemed like the locker room was in a good spot.
Now Sophie's basically waving a massive warning flag. And this isn't some clueless rookie talking. This is a battle-tested veteran. She even owned up, saying she's got to step up and help unify the team. But let's be honest, that doesn't fix the cracks that are already splitting wide open.
Sophie Cunningham coming out there and effectively saying there's a big difference between her saying there are locker room issues and her saying the locker room maybe isn't where it needs to be.
Caitlin Clark's trapped in a locker room that offers her no protection, emotionally, mentally, or physically. And that collapse, it's bleeding out onto the court for everyone to witness.
It is not looking positive for them to be fixed. We can be honest here. It's not looking positive.
In games where Caitlin takes a beating, where's the support? No teammates stepping up to send a message. Just collapse when it counts. Sophie even pointed it out herself. They scored 35 points on us in one quarter.
They scored 35 points, I think you guys said. That just cannot happen.
That's a team with no discipline, no focus, and no trust. This isn't just about losing a few games. It's about a whole culture crumbling from within.
The Indiana Fever are in a disastrous situation right now. They're in an absolutely disastrous situation.
When your superstar's out there fighting alone, this isn't some ordinary team issue anymore. This is a full-scale meltdown.
If it's not minor, then again, I'm getting very close to just riding off the seat.
Sophie Cunningham's blunt remarks about players living on different islands didn't come out of nowhere. They're the result of months of dysfunction, puzzling roster decisions, and a front office that looks utterly lost on how to protect the one player who truly matters, Caitlin Clark. And a lot of this mess circles right back to DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Howard. Let's be clear, Bonner wasn't signed to just fill a roster spot.
Whose idea was it to bring these old dinosaurs and put them on this roster, starting with DeWanna Bonner?
She landed a max contract from the Fever in the offseason. Still one of the most baffling moves fans and analysts can recall. Sure, Bonner brought experience, but she also came with serious baggage. And despite all her veteran status, the instant result was friction, not leadership. Some insiders even suggest her sudden exit wasn't just about her brutal shooting. It was a last-ditch effort to save whatever shred of team unity remained.
One of the fractures was a DeWanna Bonner group off to the side.
One analyst didn't even hold back, asking if the Fever finally realized they had to cut Bonner just to stop the locker room from completely imploding. Her sudden release shocked the entire WNBA, but in hindsight, it's hard to ignore the signs. She may have been the wedge splitting the team apart, right as Caitlin was fighting to keep it all together. Then there's Natasha Howard, arguably an even bigger question mark and an even bigger risk. Fans and creators have slammed her for her lack of urgency, shaky effort, and head-scratching behavior off the court. In a recent game, she literally showed more concern for an opposing player than for her own teammates.
Tasha Howard decides that she'd rather
11.
She'd rather rub up on Ezzy Magnabor's leg.
Even when Caitlin Clark hit the floor after a brutal foul, Natasha stood there stone-faced. No reaction, no support, nothing at all.
Anytime Caitlin Clark's been knocked to the ground, anytime Aaliyah Boston's been punked, anytime Lexi Hull's been beat up, Sophie Cunningham's been beat up, any more concern about somebody on the other team than from her own team.
Meanwhile, she's quick to check on rival players, but barely bats an eye when Caitlin gets dropped, or Aaliyah takes a hit, or Sophie gets shoved around. It's not just awkward, it's flat out embarrassing. And still, with all that, Howard keeps clocking big minutes, while players like Sophie Cunningham, who actually care, stay glued to the bench. Even worse, fans are convinced this loyalty to Howard is pure politics, all thanks to Stephanie White, the head coach who once coached Howard back in Indiana. It's not about merit, it's about connections, and that's when the real damage comes into focus. By clinging to veterans who aren't all in and sidelining players who are, the Fever blew up their own chemistry. Now, the locker room's broken into literal factions. One analyst even mapped it out. Caitlin, Lexi Hull, and Sophie on one island, Natasha, Sydney Colson, and Kelsey Mitchell camped out on another.
Okay, well, let me get a medium. Sold out. Let me get a large. Sold out. Let me get an extra large. Sold out. Hey, 2XL. Sold out.
Did you catch what just went down with Sophie Cunningham? The Indiana Fever just brought her on board, and something completely crazy went down the second she walked into the organization. This isn't your usual player intro. This is the kind of moment that's got everyone buzzing.
Sophie Cunningham, we know she showed up in Indy yesterday. She did her press conference. She sent a strong message about a championship and also to the players in the league. I'm feisty, I'm fierce, I'm sassy. I stick up for my teammates. I stick up for myself, and I think that's a good thing. She let us know.
When Sophie hit the stage at her press conference, she came out swinging, her personality blazing for everyone to see. She flat out told everyone she's sassy and someone who's always ready to stand up for herself and her teammates. From the very start, Sophie made it clear she's bringing that fire and competitive edge that Fever fans have been dying for.
So, warning has been served on various fronts. In any case, she got an opportunity to get her jersey.
Right after wrapping up that press conference, Sophie snapped a photo with her brand new number 8 Indiana Fever jersey.
Finally here! Found it!
You could hear the excitement in her voice the second she posted that picture online. The comments came pouring in. Fans were itching to know where they could get their hands on that exact jersey.
Not long after I put it up, I was going through the comments and I noticed someone commented saying, I'm going to get one of those jerseys. Sophie Cunningham, yes, I'm getting that jersey.
But then something unbelievable happened. Within hours, fans started flooding social media, saying they couldn't find Sophie's jersey anywhere. It was completely sold out. She hadn't even played a single minute in a Fever uniform or finished her first full practice yet, and her jerseys were already gone from the shelves.
But the commenter said, I can't get a jersey. These jerseys are gone. These jerseys are about sold out. Can't get one. And I was thinking, wow.
This all went down right after Sophie wrapped up her first gym session with Keith Porter. She had literally just finished her first workout as a Fever player, and fans were already wiping out the merchandise racks for her gear. That's just insane.
Just showed up in Indiana, just had her press conference, just got in the gym already. I know she got in the gym with Keith Porter, knocking down shots, working on stuff. The jersey that you just saw her highlighting, got my jersey, finally here.
Sophie's bold personality and fiery attitude clicked instantly with Fever fans who crave passion and players with swagger. When she made that statement about being sassy and always standing up for her teammates, Fever fans felt that energy and backed it up with their wallets.
Look, I went this morning, I said, let me go see for myself what's up with the sale of the jersey, just because I had seen that comment. So I came on over to the team store. You can get Pacers gear, Fever gear. So here is Sophie Cunningham's jersey. It's the front of the jersey. There's the back of the jersey.
The team store couldn't handle what came next. Fans rushed to buy Sophie's jersey, selling out faster than almost any WNBA player ever, without her even stepping on the court for Indiana. The team was shocked by the demand for a role player, and the merchandise crew is likely still scrambling to restock.
Over here, adult Indiana Fever number 8 Sophie Cunningham Rebel Swingman jersey in red by Nike, $130. Okay, so look at this. There's a size extra small available. Needless to say, that one ain't for me. So this is, look at the rest of these. If you want a small, here's the sign. Here it is right here. Sold out.
How empty are those digital shelves? The merchandise team is facing an unprecedented sellout of Sophie's jersey, something rarely seen for a new player. Checking the Indiana Fever store, I was stunned by what was left. Here's what's still available.
Okay, well, let me get a medium. Sold out. Let me get a large. Sold out. Let me get an extra large. Sold out. Hey, 2XL. Sold out. The only thing that you can get is an extra small, and it still says low stock, 1 item left.
Every size from medium to 2XL is sold out, gone. Only an extra small remains, with just 1 left. The site warns, low stock, like it's the last diamond in the store. The merchandise team is scrambling as fans eagerly drop $130 to support Sophie Cunningham.
Cunningham just showed up in Indy, hasn't played a game yet, and that commenter wasn't lying. If you're extra small, I guess you can grab up that 1 left. That's wild. I guess the message has been sent. The organization is going to have to make sure they have plenty in stock.
What's crazy? Other players' jerseys are still in stock, but Sophie's vanished in a flash. The team orders cautiously for role players, but Sophie's demand caught them off guard. I can almost hear the emergency call. Double production. Sophie's jerseys are gone, even the 2XL.
Right now, low stock, 1 item left, and the rest of these sold.
Now, they're scrambling to restock before the season starts. The merchandise team is in full panic mode, trying to make the most of this surprise sellout. This only happens with superstars or top draft picks, not role players from a trade. The real secret? Indiana fans aren't just jumping on the Caitlin Clark bandwagon. They're emptying their wallets faster than any other fan base, leaving others envious.
Now, I gotta say this because I've said this before, and this is yet another example. Indiana Fever fans. I'm not talking about the people they've been made out to be by people out there, by media, by WNBA players and coaches. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real Indiana Fever fans. Don't just talk the talk. They walk the walk.
Here's the truth. Indiana Fever fans have long been called bandwagoners, but Sophie Cunningham's sellout shatters that. They're proving they're a dedicated hardcore fan base, supporting every player with both their voices and their wallets.
They buy merch, basketballs, Caitlin Clark basketball. They're begging to buy Caitlin Clark's Nike shoe when that shows up. They're buying jerseys.
What sets Indiana fans apart from every other WNBA fan base? While other teams' fans might drop supportive comments online or debate game strategy, Fever fans are taking it to the next level, whipping out their credit cards and showing their loyalty with real purchases. We're talking about a movement so powerful, it's not just making noise, it's completely transforming the franchise.